slammintunes.com.
Hey everybody, you're here with Sam on Slammin' Tunes, and I have a very special guest. I have Vicky Sjohall.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking with Vicky about her past, her present, and her future as far as music goes. Currently, she has an album out called Simple Pleasures, and if you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. I'm just wondering how you got started as an artist.
Well, I've always been a singer. I was always singing since I was really young, and I was known in school for being the singer. I never approached it professionally until I was done university. I did a health and fitness degree. And right after I graduated, I got in an accident. I was hit by a van on my bicycle. And I spent a year in a cast, had a couple of surgeries. And during that time, I started singing backup for other people. And when I got my cast off, I was given a guitar and I started writing, and that was what got me doing it more professionally, and everything kept moving forward from there.
Fantastic. Okay, so your first show. Can you tell me about your first show and what was going through your mind?
I love performing. I've always loved performing. I had been singing backup for Melanie Decker during my cast time, and when I had enough songs together to do an opening set for her, she invited me, because I would sing with her still, but I started doing opening sets for her. And I think the weirdest thing for me was I was really rusty on the guitar, and I was very conscientious of it. Singing isn't a big deal. I love to sing, but playing the guitar and being confident with that was definitely a learning curve for me. So when my first few shows, I was very, kind of holding back a little bit because I was thinking so much about my guitar playing.
And I've watched I watched your videos posted on was it Reverb Nation? And you play very well. So
yeah, well, that's I guess 15 years now that I've been playing. So that's good.
Awesome. So, taking a step back here, I know that you were in a group. I'm not even going to mention the group's name here, just because I don't want to stir anything up. And I know that I was just looking, and I couldn't find out why. I was just curious what happened with the group, and what caused the split and the name change and all that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was, we had such a good run. We started out with 4 girls, and then within 6 months we've been offered a contract with Virgin Canada, and that we spent a lot of time with lawyers, and all of us had come from such different backgrounds. So long story short, one person ended up dropping out, and we just said no to the contract. And then there were 3 of us, and we did really well for a few years, and then one of the girls left. Just, she wanted to settle down and not do so much touring, wanted to get married and stuff. And so then there 2 of us left. And we decided to really, dig in. And we got some money together. We recorded this amazing album. We started to tour it. And lo and behold, this other band in Canada had the same band name as ours. And they were actually a cover band. We'd met them on the road before. But we were starting to affect their business, and they'd have had the name longer than we had. So within that 1 year of recording the album, getting all the promotion together, posters everywhere, we hired a promotion company, we were touring across Canada, we had to literally, and we had a distribution company, Maple Music, we had to literally pull everything off the shelves and start looking at doing it all over again with a new band name, a new promotion company, doing everything all over again. And it was just too much. I mean, at this point, the last 2 of us had been really trying hard for a couple of years, and personally, our interests were starting to change. Personally, we had some conflicts of interest with some decisions that were being made, and we weren't agreeing on everything. And then financially, we just had no money left. And I basically wasn't willing to move forward and get into more debt, and we both didn't agree on that either. And so it kind of just turned into a bad divorce, and we literally had to just sign off that we would never use anything in the future, and we wouldn't do anything with our music that we'd recorded, and it just was dead in the water. It's kind of a sad ending.
It really is, because I've got I've got your first album here, and I've listened to it, listened through it a couple of times, and can I tell you something? I found 2 tracks initially on the now extinct GarageBand.com. And back in 2004, and then listening to them and comparing them to the CD, I actually like the originals that were posted on GarageBand versus the final production. Is that have you heard that before?
Yes, we always were originally doing a lot more acoustic oriented songs and recordings. We have like 4 CDs that we recorded before that last one that we started to really dig deep and tour it.
Okay.
And so when we did the final recording, some of the changes that happened was the shift of wanting to do more of a rock sound. And we still get a lot of people that say, I love the old recordings when it was just the guitars and the piano and it was so easy and light and the vocals are so great. So I do hear that a lot, for sure. It's a little more organic, I think.
Okay. Awesome. So, but I do definitely want to talk about your current stuff. The Simple Pleasure CD. I've listened to it a couple of times through. I've had other people that listen to the station comment to me directly saying, "Hey, look, I don't know where you found her music, but thank you for putting it out there." And I know you've seen some of the hubbub on Twitter because of that. Yeah,
it's been really. I wanted to thank you too. It's been really fun to see some of the comments, because the album is a few years old now, and my husband and I pulled it out and listened to it the other day, and I was like, oh God, I don't even remember how I did that. It was such a. I have to really submerge in the studio and really get in there. I procrastinate a lot, whereas the live thing, it's so easy for me. So yeah, I really appreciate that. It's been really fun.
And I got to tell you, I love the album, and I got a big question for you though. Are you working on some new stuff?
I am. I have. I've got a big chunk of songs that I'm going to start recording, just like the basic versions, and then start building on it. I was told a long time ago to play every song at least 100 times live before you go to the studio, because you do figure out new ways to finish or start them, and you start, you kind of get down to really how you really want to do it. And I don't, because I'm not as comfortable in the studio, I like to do that outside of the studio really thoroughly,
Yeah.
The live shows. So yeah, I feel really ready now, and I'm so excited. I've started just doing the scratch versions, and I just do a basic guitar and vocal version first, and then I start building around that, seeing where it takes me.
All right, so you start with the melodies first, and then and then build on it.
Yeah, just around in terms of if I want what kind of instrumentation I want, what kind of background vocals I want. I hear a lot of melodies in my head when I'm listening to tracks that I've recorded, so I'll just kind of play them out, whether it's a piano or a cello or if just my voice in general.
Okay. So you're saying that you use the live sets to really hone your craft and kind of change a song. Do you ever find yourself changing the lyrics right in the middle of a live set?
Yeah, that actually happened recently. I had just written a bridge for a song that I've been working on, and when I got to the bridge, I took a couple words out and I actually flipped a couple of the lines, and I preferred it. So yeah, it's pretty random. It's fun.
So, off the Simple Pleasure CD, do you have a favorite track?
I think that The Moon is one of my favorites. I love where I wrote it from a place of really an insecure place, not being sure if what my direction in my music is going, what am I doing, and it's just when I sing it, it totally lets me sit and relax, and my heart opens up, and just really like, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Just do your thing. I just love it, and I love all the pretty melodies that go in there, the trickle down. And I remember when I was recording it, I started with a really slow piano, and then as I know, halfway through the song, it doubles in time, and it's really fun. So I think that one's probably one of my favorites, and Never Alone is one of my other favorites as well.
All right, so it gives me a really good opportunity here to take a quick break, and we're going to go ahead and play The Moon by Vicky Sjohall, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes.
I cast a stone, I watch the ripples growing. They always disappear before I know exactly where they're going. I never find a place to rest my mind. It always wanders in and around the things I see and feel, in and out of what is real. If I lay me down, will it be calm? Be here after the storm. Love is a word that reaches down and pulls me from my anchor. What if I let it all come crashing down because I don't know the answer? There was a quiet night, the moon and I got tied up in reflections. It was a dance across the water's edge, and I was part of her perfection. If I lay me down under the sky, will there be peace? Will I know why? If I lay me down, will it be calm? Will you be here after the storm? I cast a stone. They always disappear before I know. I never find a place to rest. When can I find my place to rest? To rest. Be calm, will you
All right, everybody, you're here with Sam on Slammin' Tunes, and I have my special guest. I have Vicky Sjohall, and we're just taking a couple minutes to talk. And we just played The Moon, and got a couple more questions for her, and just see where this goes. Vicky, I'm just wondering how you handle critics, because everybody's got critics.
Oh yeah, I think my time in music, I handle criticism a lot better now. I know back in the band days, it's really hard to be a musician and be in the business and not let people get under your skin. You should be more of this, you should be more of that. Oh, you know, it especially for women, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of the sexism, and there's a lot of, you know, if I wasn't on stage and if I didn't look a certain way, or, you know, or you're not rocking out enough, or, you know, I think it takes a long time to just sit in yourself and just be who you are naturally. It takes a lot of experience to be able to do that, because there are so many influencers, people trying to influence you. So I think for me, it's a decision, but it takes time to really be okay with it. You don't need to listen to everyone, just like in normal life, you know?
Yeah, you definitely need to kind of block out some of that negativity. You know, unfortunately, there is a lot of criticism, especially when you put yourself out there like that, and brushing it off and, you know, taking it with a grain of salt, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think also I have a niece, and I think also seeing like young girls that are so influenced by people and what they should wear, and I mean, it comes into normal life with the bullying, and it's, you know, we have to lead by example. And I think as I've gotten older, I've been able to really be more conscious of that. You know, I have a couple of musicians in the city that have been doing this for a long time. Like, you know, there's Jim Foster or Jeff Gibbons that play in some of the areas, and they've been through the industry for a long time. And they have been great. It's almost like mentoring. Their criticism, or their constructive criticism, I should say, is so valuable.
Yeah, maybe even maybe criticism's not the right word. Maybe we'll just use advice. They have probably have some great advice.
Yes, exactly. Or, you know, ways to be a better writer or be a better melody. You know, hey, you should try starting in some of the different chords, because, you know, initially I do, as writers, we do get stuck in certain ways of writing. Like, it's easy to just kind of write a song in the same key, or, you know, you naturally kind of tend to do the same patterns.
Yeah.
So to break those patterns, sometimes it takes somebody else to say, hey, you know, that one's kind of sounding like that other one you wrote. Maybe you should try this or that, you know? So I totally value that.
That's some great advice. We were talking earlier about Twitter, and what sites can people find you through, and which ones do you prefer?
You know, I do like Twitter. I try to keep on top of it. There's so much going on in Twitter. It's kind of funny. I use Reverb Nation right now for a lot of my stuff, because I find it's really easy for me to do newsletters and stuff like that. And but they're all linked together. So I've got Hootsuite that does, you know, if I make a status or say, oh, I've got the show tonight, it sends them to everything. There's Instagram or Facebook or Reverb Nation or Twitter. But I think for right now, if people want to find me, Reverb Nation is the easiest, because I have it's reverbnation.com/Vicky Sjohall, and there's all my gig listings, my status updates. You can hear music there. So it's kind of a fun site, and it has links to everything else. Yeah,
Reverb Nation's a fantastic site. And
it's so user-friendly. I'm not very good at this stuff, so it's just really easy for me, because I'm lazy.
Well, it's a nice place to put your gig lists, some basic bio information, you know, post some songs, videos. It's really one-stop shopping as far as a consumer goes, looking for musicians.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your Simple Pleasure CD. How do people find it? Where do we find it? And you know, how?
Yeah.
Just tell me how to get it.
Where do you get it? I'm on iTunes, so that's the easiest. And I am literally the only Vicky Sjohall. There's a lot of Simple Pleasures, so you should, you know, search Vicky Sjohall, and my last name is weird. It's Sjohall. Scandinavian, a little Swedish to me. So that's easy. It's on iTunes. You can also go to cdbaby.com, and you can link to those things right through Reverb as well.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking earlier about new tracks, new album. Do we have is there an ETA? Do we have any idea when we can expect it?
Yeah, so another advice that's been given to me is that I need to set a deadline. So because I procrastinate so much. So I'm aiming for the fall release because that gives me some time without being too pressured. And so I'm gonna go for that. And now that I've said it out loud, I have to really write it down.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you put it out, I would love to take a listen to it, and I would love to have you come back. And we can certainly put it out there for everybody else to hear.
Awesome.
So you're welcome to come back to Slammin' Tunes anytime.
Thank you so much, Sam.
I do have a couple of off-the-wall questions for you, because you do a lot of live shows, and I'm sure you've seen some crazy stuff. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen at one of your shows?
Oh gosh, the things happen all the time. Depending on the gig, I've been singing backup for a band at this club in the city, and it's a late show. It's till 3 a.m, and there's a lot of stuff that happens after midnight that you kind of, when you're on stage under the spotlights and you get to see everybody in the crowd what they're doing, whether they're making out in the corner or doing upside down shots or whatever. But I think the one moment that is most memorable is at one of my earlier gigs. And there were these kids that came in to see the show, and they were all, having some drinks and eating some food and stuff. And one of the guys literally actually fell off his chair because he couldn't get on it, and he literally fell right off of it, but nobody even reacted. And so I stopped singing. I'm like, can you guys pick up your friend? Because he was just laying there looking at me. It was really awkward. I don't know. And of course, I'm glad I don't know his name or anything, but I was like, are you okay? And nobody was reacting because they were all listening to me, which is fantastic. But I stopped so that I could get the friends to pick him up.
That's a good story.
Please be aware of your friends at my shows.
So I have to ask, what do you do in your free time?
I like to read. It's funny. This morning I was with my cat. I have a cat, and I feed her, and then I get my book. I like to just kind of start my morning really mellow. And the night before I go to bed, I usually make a list of all the things that I want to do, but I just need a little bit of me time, or I'll go to the gym or go for a run or something, and then I set to work. I do a lot of stuff in my second bedroom here, which is the home studio, and it's all part of trying to accomplish little things every day to move forward. So, yeah, it's the tea and a book and a workout, and then start my day going.
Awesome.
So it's kind of boring, but Vancouver's so beautiful. Literally, we are so lucky on the West Coast. I'm really sorry for all you East Coasters this year.
It's been rough.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been so nice here. I'm really sorry. You guys got to come here.
You know what? I still have snow outside the building, so I'm so done with winter this year.
Yes.
So I have to ask, what's been your favorite venue to perform at so far?
I think, the band played at the Commodore. We opened for a band called the Dan Band, and the Commodore is a 1,000-person venue. It's the sound when you're listening on, when you're a visitor, it's amazing sound. When you're behind the scenes, it was so pleasant. They're so professional. The sound is amazing, and it was just you really do just feel like a rock star. It's amazing. So that's definitely one of my favorite venues that I've done. We have a lot of small places. I've been playing at this little quarter bar, bistro kind of place called Luke's, and it's just so cozy and casual, and I love that as well. It's really intimate. But in terms of sound and professionalism, the Commodore, definitely. If you're ever in town, you got to go to a gig at the Commodore. It's amazing.
Awesome. So, you said you got some shows coming up. Where can people find you?
Yeah, this week I'm playing at a place called the Sunset Grill in Vancouver in Kitsilano on Thursday. I'm singing at the Roxy with Troy's R Us this Wednesday and next Wednesday and Thursday. And then this Friday I'm actually singing with Melanie Decker at Luke's on Granville and 14th in Vancouver as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for new artists or people looking to get started?
I say, really practice. Do something every day with musically and on the business side. Don't wait around for people. That's advice I got at one point because, some people will say, okay, we're going to do this for you. You just got to wait. Don't wait. Just do what you got to do. If people are saying that you have to wait, they're probably not going to do anything. You got to do it yourself. There's so many places online to look for tutorials on doing it yourself. There's so many people that you can connect with, and just get out there, write a bunch of songs and do a gig. I played for free for a couple of years when I first started, and within 6 months of playing professionally and starting to get paid, the band was put together, and you just got to get out there and meet people and gig as much as you can so that you get better at gigging.
I've asked this question a lot, and the response is usually the same. It's always people. Surround yourself with the right people. Yes,
you have to surround yourself with the right people. If there's people bringing you down, you just got to move away from it. It's a dangerous path. There's so many good people out there. You can feed off the energy of that. When I was first starting, one of the best things I did, I hosted a night where every week I would bring in a new artist. So I'd do my set, and then I'd bring in an artist, and I'd print flyers for them. I'd give them the flyers, and people really got a lot out of that because some people actually don't know how to promote themselves, or there are a lot of introverted musicians out there that don't necessarily want to talk to everybody. And if you can just meet more people and, whether it's the open mic jams, I'm sure in New York, gosh, there's just such a scene there. You can go anywhere and meet people that are trying to, get their songs better and their performing skills better.
Any Saturday night you can walk through the village and trip over artists out there trying to sell their CDs or just finished a gig or whatever. It really is a music mecca.
And it's so inspiring when you see someone. I always say, if you can play with better tennis players, you're just going to get better at tennis. And maybe one day you're the better tennis player. And it's inspiring to get it from someone, and it's also inspiring to give it back. So it's just keep doing it.
So if you're just tuning in, you're hanging with Sam on Slammin' Tunes and my very special guest, Vicky Sjohall. We've been talking about her CD, Simple Pleasures, and we're actually going to play one of her tracks. Vicky, you want to go ahead and announce us out?
Yeah, we're going to play This Love. It's one of the nice, easy listening songs in the album. I get a lot of feedback about this one. So
awesome. Hey, Vicky, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking out some time out of your busy day to hang out with us here.
Thank you so much.
Tread lightly on the shaky ground. There's no silence when it's coming down. It's been days since we just looked around beyond the rain. Trouble comes, trouble goes. Trouble is we've got no place to go. There's no peace inside this troubled mind when you're not alright. I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm not afraid I just need to know you still believe in this love, this love, this love. We talk until the sky turns red, then we close our eyes and go to bed. 'Cause the world is on fire and nobody's listening. It's hard to keep moving when so much is missing. And I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm not afraid of the things I'm told. I'm not scared to fight to win. I just need to know you still believe in this love, this love, this love. If you get lost, I'll bring a light and get you home. If you get scared, I'll stay beside you and hold you close. Everything's different when it's quiet and it's just you and me. There's always a sunrise after a cold night. And I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm not afraid of the things I'm told. Yeah, I'm not